Most guitarists hear a line like that and think it is taste or instinct. But this line is not random, it is extractable. You can trace it directly back to a upper structure called voicings. My name is Junon Choi. I am an educated jazz guitarist and I teach jazz guitar as an apprenticeship, the way this music was actually passed down. In this video, I will show you how Wes's intro line on Body and Soul is built from upper structure harmony and how that harmony creates diagonal movements on the guitar. If you watch this all the way through, you will walk away with two things. First, a clear way to identify the upper structure logic behind a real master line, and second, a repeatable way to pull that logic onto the fretboard diagonally without guessing. And in 2026, if you want new result, you cannot keep practicing more material. You need a cleaner method for turning harmony into motion. Before we talk about notes, here is the point. This Wes intro is not melody first in the usual sense, like any other my videos. It is harmony speaking melodically through upper structure. So the question is not what scale is that, the question should be what chord structure makes that line inevitable. Let me show you the exact spot in the intro and the exact harmony underneath it. So this is I transcribed the intro of Wes's solo. They made a short chord progression from the structure of the tune. So the chord start from like the tune, the E flat minor, but it goes to the C minor 7 flat 5 to the F7, and then it goes right back to the 2-5-1 over the key, over the tune. And then it goes to the 5 chord that bring back to the first chord of the tune, which is E flat minor 7. Okay, so let me show you where on the fretboard I play those chords, because over this position Wes was playing those lines. So the E flat minor 7 I played over here, 11th fret on 6th string root, and the root going down to the D flat goes to the C minor 7 flat 5, and then F7, E flat minor 7, which is 2, 5 to the 1, and the 5 chords bring back to the top of the tune, etc., etc. Here is the key idea. Upper structure voicings are not the extra color. They are a stable harmonic map that already contains the line Wes is going to play. So instead of reverse engineering from a scale, we do something more practical. We identify the upper structure voicing that fits the chord function and matches the sound of the line. I am going to do 3 quick moves. It will be quick, so if you can, stop the video and play back, or like picture it and please come along with it. You can go back and forth. You can do that. Okay. So the first, I will show you the underlying chord function first, and then second, I will show you the upper structure voicing that sits on top of it, and then extract a playable line, and you will hear the rest immediately. So let's see over here. The E flat minor is actually the 2 chord, and over here this is 5/7/6. This is related to, or 7-7 flat 5. It goes to the 2-7 5/7, and coming back to the 5, and another 5/7/2, which going back to the top of the chord, which is 2-7 chord. Right? So the function, it would be, this is non-tonic. This is non-tonic. Yeah, this is non-tonic. This is tonic. Non-tonic. But also, these are the non-tonic, but some over here is actually the dominant function. To make more chromatic lines, which means non-diatonic notes. Okay, so, and then I will show you how those upper structure chord is sitting on top of those function chords. Okay, so this E flat minor 7 chord, there is an upper structure like this, which is G flat major 7, and it stays there same. And then when it goes to the C minor 7 flat 5, look at this. If this C minor 7 flat 5, if I just don't play the root, what do you see? It is E flat minor triad. So look at this. This C minor 7 flat 5 voicings up hops up octave. This C minor 7 flat 5. But if I don't play the root, there is a E flat minor. And then this is the same structure, right? E flat minor. But we play the 9 on top of the first chord, right? And then look at this. This is exact line that Wes played on the second major. So look at this. E flat minor, but he plays right. That is a perfect Django line. But he plays, and then C minor 7 flat 5 on the F7. He plays this Wes descending line, and goes to the E flat minor, A flat 7, Django line, here. And then B flat 7, right? So let's write it down on the paper that which line I was playing, Wes was playing. So over here, Django line he plays, same Django line he plays. I will show you why it is same. Look at this, G flat major 7. Which is upper structure of E flat minor. And look at here, either this is E flat minor or with this G flat major 7. Same. These two are same, right? So this is in Django line, and over here he switch back to the Wes line, and then this is actually he plays over the Wes line position, but he didn't really play because over here is not that making things, because look at here, I said this is a non-tonic function, and over here is also the non-tonic function, but it has a dominant functions over here. So he wanted to reserve these two here. So this is kind of releasing point so that he can move again over here. Does that make sense? So over here, he is playing in this Django line. By the way, this is another Django line. He plays it, the structure. It has a flat augmented triad, and it lands onto the third of the one chord. And this is another Django line he plays, and here is a D major 7, right? Yeah. D major 7 upper structure of this B flat 7. Okay. This is the 2026 shift. Stop collecting ideas and start learning how a line is built. Now we extract. And this extract is the important word because I am not composing a new lick. I am pulling the line out of the voicing that Wes is already implying. So you will notice two things. The line targets structural tones that are already inside the voicing, and the motion between them is not random. It is guided by the voicing's internal direction. So the Django line and the Wes line, no, those upper structure lines that I just showed you on the paper, those are here. This is the chord, upper structure, and the line. I am not thinking options. I am hearing one structure and letting it lead the motion. That is why it sounds like music immediately. Now, here is why this belongs in the diagonal harmony series. On guitar, the moment you commit to upper structure harmony, one thing happens. You stop staying in one area because the structure wants to continue, and the cleanest continuation often forces a diagonal route across the neck. That's why you see the Wes was from here to here in one short phrase. So diagonal movement is not a technique. It is what the harmony demands when you keep the idea consistent. Now, I am going to show you one connection that keeps the same upper structure logic intact but moves it across the guitar. So the G flat major 7 Django line is connect these two voicings. Our bass chord is over here, E flat minor 7. But I see this G flat major 7 Django line and it connects to this diagonal line. But what really Wes plays is, right? He didn't go to and he didn't go that way. He goes because he wanted to sound it like G flat 6. Right? If you have been practicing boxes for years and the neck still feels disconnected, this is the missing link. 2026 is where you train connection, not accumulation. When I say Wes Line or Django Line, I am not naming a trick. I am naming a consistent harmonic behavior that stays the true while the line moves. So what matters is not the label. It is whether the harmony stays intact as you move. Now, let me replay the opening line again. Same excerpt, and this time listen for the upper structure harmony inside it. Here is the practice, and it is simple. Identify the chord function under the phrase, and then choose the upper structure voicing that actually matches the sound. Extract a short line from the voicing and keep the structure intact while you move. Do that and you are not memorizing vocabulary, you are learning the construction. If you want the foundation that makes this feel obvious, start with essential building blocks. I will put the link below. That is 2 hours of free lessons about all the shell voicings in the upper structure. You need to know the drop 2 voicing. I am explaining those voicings and the diagonal scale structure. You only need one scale form to play 3 octave major scales. And there is a free PDF. You only need to just free register to my website. 2-hour lessons and free PDF. And if you want to see how this logic lives inside real master playing, go to the jazz icon, Wes's Inside. I will put the link below, and in there I show you the exact Wes's position, the playing on 3 tunes. All the things you are, Fly Me to the Moon, and unreleased solo on Autumn Leaves. Those 3 tunes are very essential to learn this music because circle of fifth motion and the melody of those tunes are targeting the third. And learning how Wes is playing those 3 tunes is very, very good information. You should have those structure on the fretboard to play freely. In the next diagonal harmony episode, we will do the same thing again. Upper structure, harmony first, then diagonal motion as the visual. And please put some comment that which tunes you want to learn about in this structure. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.